What strategies can individuals employ to escape the cycle of the rat race and transition into a life aligned with their true purpose?
How can an individual escape from rat race and start pursuing their purpose? This is exactly why is exactly what I believe is my calling, my assignment. And Nabo is my platform for carrying out this assignment, financial redemption.
Wow.
What they need is financial redemption.
I think the question then is, what is financial redemption?
And what is financial redemption? Financial redemption is when you grow your passive income to an extent that you get to do what you love to do every single day of the year.
Repeat that.
Financial redemption is when you have grown your passive income, money that comes into a bank account without you showing up, to an extent that you now get to do what you love to do every single day of the year. It is when you retire yourself from reporting to a job because you need to pay for bills, but you report because you love what you do. And that means now you align with your purpose. You align with your assignment. I like saying we are enablers of other people's assignments or other people's callings, you know. Why am I saying? And I'm going to go deep into this. Let's just look at how have we been educated? How have we been brought up? We were brought up, go to school, you get a good job. Remember, so many vijana, muongeze pia bidii, mwisho wa kusoma, utapata kazi nzuri sana. I mean, that is what was ingrained in us.
For my French audience.
For your French audience.
What are you saying?
I'm saying we were educated and it was hammered into us through songs and other narratives that if we go to school, work very hard, get good grades, we'll get very good jobs and we'll have very good lives. So we were brought up to be employees.
We were indoctrinated to be employees.
And then when you get to become an employee, you join something called a pension scheme. And this pension scheme, you contribute into it. And then when you retire, and the retirement age has been somewhere between 60 and 65. When you retire, you will have a blissful life. Because you will get to do what you love to do every single day of the year. Yeah? You will travel, you do whatever the things that you have not been able to do, you will do them. And by the way, if you follow people who retire, what do they end up doing?
Traveling.
I know.
Or going into
they become deacons in churches.
Yeah.
They become deacons in churches. They become chairmen of their neighborhood associations. They become those things. And then they farm. They do some farming. That's what they do. But let me ask you, Esther, is this how God meant life to be?
No.
What is the average life expectancy in Africa? For a man, it's 62 years.
Okay.
For a woman, it's 64 years. So if you retire at 60, peradventure, You retire at 60.
Two good years.
You have been one of the few lucky people to keep your job until you're 60 years old. Underline the word lucky. Because I don't know how many people get to, unless you're working for government, I don't know how many people really get to work until you're 60. You'll be the slowest person in the organization if you are that lucky. And you retire. It means if life expectancy is 62 for men and 64, what you expect to enjoy how many years? Two.
4 for the ladies.
4 for the ladies. And then if you get to 70, you are living in bonus. In fact, we used to have something called defined benefit. When you get your pension until you die. You know. So if the more you live, the more you're disappointing to the scheme, because you're an expense to the scheme now. You know. Anyway, I looked at this and I said, this is not how God was meant us to live. How even if you live to be 80, are you expected out of 80 years you only enjoyed 20 years? It's a hoax. Say no. Our job at Nabo Capital and my purpose is to help you to retire you as quickly as possible so that you can enjoy the rest of your life and you can pursue your life assignment for most of your life, not the least part of your life. So if I can manage to get you there by the time you are 30 or 40, I have saved you. I have redeemed
half your life.
I've redeemed 20 years. I've redeemed 30 years. And that's why it's called financial redemption. Because we spend most of our lifetime and our prime season of our life trying to make this ends meet, trying to overcome this rat race. We spend most of our time there. That when you're getting a sigh of relief, life is over. God said, I give, but I come so that you may have life and have it abundantly. We are meant to thrive, not to survive. So, myself, Nabo, our job is to help you to get your passive income to a place where you can pay your bills, you can do all the things that you need to do without having your job or your business.
To give you your salary, in short. Or the foundation, as you said.
Yes.
The foundation.
Get those basics as quickly as possible.
Okay.
As quickly as possible. I've also thought about my own life. If I was to go back to the time I was in high school in campus, and I just finished, I would not leave home until I have a passive income of 100K. And when I leave my mother's house, I would now make sure that I do not spend more than 100K. So I will still be a very productive individual. Whatever job I do, all that will be bonus going into my portfolio to create more passive income. So by the time I'm 30, 40 years old, I don't think, if I start, I honestly believe I would be making at least 5 million a month.
What?
If I started doing this from day one,
I'd
be making 5 million a month.
Okay, so
passive income.
Passive.
Yes. Without salary.
Let me ask this. So think of that time you were in uni. What time? What age? What age? 20. Let's say 20.
I left uni over 20 years ago.
So if somebody is 20 now,
yes,
and they start today,
that guy, by the time he's 40 and he's following these financial principles, is likely to be making millions of shillings in a month, passive income, because this thing is self-propelling. It keeps surprising you by how powerful it is, because it's very revelational. It's not something, even for me, it'd be like, oh my God, I did not know it could do this. You get it? So the bonuses that you get paid along the way, you sweep them there. You buy a piece of land, sell it at a good price, sweep it there. Yeah? All the excess cash flows that tends to,
an inheritance that
to
comes
disappear,
your way.
you sweep it there. All of it is you're converting it into assets which are generating passive income. Passive income, passive income, passive income, passive income. By the time you're 40, I'm telling you, you will not need to work for anyone and you will not have to depend on any business. And that is not to say you stop working. And that's our idea. Our idea is that you actually work, but you work in the thing that fulfills you the most. And when that thing that fulfills you the most is also the thing that you have the most impact.
Yep.
Because that's where you're gifted. Warren Buffett started investing when he was 11 years old. He's asked, did he start investing too early? He said he wishes he started investing earlier. So it is not a coincidence that the guy has been one of the most consistent, top richest people in the world for as long as I can remember. All these other guys are names that have come up during the last 20 years. Warren Buffett has always been there.
I love what you've just said, because you then bring people like myself into play. And I'm talking about parents.
Yeah.
So, for example, I've got 2 daughters. And ever since our CTA, you forced me to realize, you pushed me into a position where I realized that my daughters, depending on my actions now, may never have to work for a salary.
And that's
they never need to get to the position where they are working
to pay bills.
Yes. That their portfolio and can hand them over. And fine, I started with one when she was 3, the other a bit later when she was 5, but they already have a head start.
Yeah.
So explain this to a parent. Like, what is this an offering that a parent can get into? And I'm not talking about paying school fees. That's different. I'm talking about handing over a portfolio that enables some ease when they get to a certain age.
Yeah, I mean, at home, there's one thing that we've been trying to enforce. To move our children to earn rather than to be given. So, for example, when with every birthday that my children get to, if like my son, Lemuel, he just turned 10. So, when you're 10 years, I'll give you 10,000 bob. When you're 11, I'll give you 11,000 bob. But instead of giving them a gift, now this 10,000 bob, I don't give him cash. I tell him, I'm putting it in your Chums account. Now, when he put it in his Chums account, he sees his portfolio has grown by how much? By 10,000 bob.
Yep.
Yeah? Now, he sees it growing. He starts seeing it growing. And then, as it is growing, he also has needs. He says, hey, Dad, I want to buy a toy or something. I tell him, no problem. How much money do you have in your Chums account? The moment I say his Chums account, he say, no, I do not need the toy.
Delayed gratification is taught.
I realized that my children find it easier to spend my money, not their money. In fact, not to spend, to squander.
Yeah.
If I tell them to spend their money, they make better allocation decisions. But if I go to a shop and I say, you have my wallet, they want to finish my wallet. So I'm teaching them a concept of earning. So then reward them with money. As you reward them with money, you're showing them, first of all, the value of money. What's the value of money? I say, hey, my brother has 10,000 more than me. He is making more passive income than me. So you've already switched his head on something. The other day, one of my sons was saying he wants a new tablet. I said, no problem.
Chums.
How much money do you have in your, like, how much do you need? I need 30,000 bob or 40,000 bob. Okay, fine. What do you need to do to get 40,000 bob? Besides what you have in Chums. So now he starts applying himself. If I can do this, I can do that. Can I earn if I do this? Can I earn? You're teaching them a concept of earning. From earning, they are building. Remember now it is active income. When they save that, immediately start producing passive income. Now they start tasting the sweetness of passive income because that's what is growing the portfolio. And then now they start thinking about in terms of investing with purpose. Say, hey, the iPad or the tablet is very important to me. So this one is worthwhile for me to use my investment to do. So again, you're teaching them how to take one goal, accomplish it, another goal, accomplish it, another goal, accomplish it. That guy, by the time he's 18 years, in fact, my kids, I told them, you are allowed to be millionaires before you get to high school. There is no limitation. You should be, you have enough power and liberty to be a multi-millionaire. Just the ideas. So it's about more of mindset than even the resources.
I get it.
Than even the resources. So it is something that parents should introduce. And I really urge all the parents, please don't teach your children to receive or to beg. That everything they need, they are given. Teach them how to earn. It doesn't mean you don't love them. And there are things that you will give them, but don't give them everything.
True that.
Don't give them everything. Even, just providing services, running errands here and there. You can find a reward system. You're really teaching them how to transact in the world, how to negotiate, how to make best financial decisions. No, the thing that's breaking families is that adults don't even know how to make quality financial decisions. So they cannot prioritize. They cannot think through financial decisions. So marriages are just breaking because of that. But it starts from there.
But again, I'll ask the question. Is it possible to open, for example, if we do agree,
yes,
listen, I'm not the best at this financial management thing. Does Nabo Capital have options for under 18?
There are very many people who've opened accounts with their kids, but with their own KYC. I can open an account for my child, but with my KYC. When my child becomes of age, guess what? I'll just transfer the account to them. In fact, even these education plans is one of the things I've been saying. What do you do with a portfolio that has fully educated your child and your child has finished? On their wedding day, it can be one of the gifts that you can give them. You say, my son, this portfolio has educated you. And here now I pass it on. Now use it to educate your own children and create more portfolios. Now you're empowering. That now can go to multiple generations. They will do the same thing to their children and the children to the other children. That portfolio may have started with 2 million. It will be 1 billion.
Yep.
Some years to come.
Yep. And this is the concept that we're not taught. Every shilling counts. Consistency counts.
Yes.
Step by step grows the portfolio. Yes. Discipline, putting in and not taking out of the principle.
Yes.
Don't kill the cow that is giving you the milk.
No.
You get?
No.
Find it a meat and get another calf.
Yeah. But we need to come back to the person who is the rat race. Who is in a rat race.
Let's go back.
And I like giving an analogy of something that happened to me. About 3 years or 4 years ago, I was going to Eldoret. Eldoret is far. And I left very early in the morning, and I had passengers in my car. And I got to near Gilgil. It was like I had left about 4 a.m. in the morning. It's dark. This is not one of my familiar roads. Near Gilgil, I'm like, let me overtake this truck. And I came to the right-hand side. And the moment I started overtaking, I discovered there were 2 trucks, not one. So I had a longer distance to cover. But as I was approaching, guess what? A barrier dividing the road, immediately I saw it. And guess what? I didn't have enough time to come back into my lane. So I ended up on the wrong side of the road, where now cars are coming this way and I'm going that way. And it is dark. And in front of me, there was this truck that was coming very fast, and it just started flashing lights on me. I'm coming and I can't stop. And I had to make quick decision. I could see this barrier end somewhere. It was either I speed very fast and I hope that I will not have a head-on with the truck. I'll have enough time to come back in. Or I just risk to go to the shoulder of the road and maybe we can flip, the car can flip. In an instant, I knew I had to come to the shoulder of the road. It was too risky to try and beat the truck. And I came to the shoulder of the road and the car was just like slanting on the right-hand side. But I was able to stop the car. And the truck passed, of course, really hooting at me. Must have thought I'm a very drunk human being at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Bro, I'm waiting for you to tell me you woke up from a dream.
I brought my car to the shoulder of the road, and I gave myself a chance to recover. When the truck passed and the road was clear, I came back to the road and quickly got back to my rightful lane. Why am I giving this story? There are a lot of people who their expenses are ahead of their incomes. Lots of families. Those people are in a rat race. Either they're spending everything or their incomes are not even enough to take care of their bills. Those people, they have to make a decision very quick because their portfolio, their incomes are slower than their expenses. And they can't overtake. They can't overtake. So they need to come to the shoulder. You need to find a haven for a period of time to give yourself enough time to recover and your expenses to come behind your revenues. What do I mean? I was the captain of that car. If I didn't do that,
you'd not be seated here.
I would not be seated here, and 2 other people would have lost enough children would have lost their parents that day. As the captain of your family, you must be ready to make tough decisions. You need to change your lifestyle. But you're not saying change your lifestyle forever. If you're living in a place where you're paying rent 25 or 30,000 bob, you need to find a place, maybe another neighborhood, where you'll save 5,000 bob or 10,000 bob. Yeah? But it's for a short period of
time.
A period of time. One of the things that I did when I looked at my expenses, I was shocked how much money I was spending on buying food. I was enriching the restaurants around me. I was working for people.
You were helping their portfolios.
I was helping their portfolios, but I didn't have anything on my end of paying ourselves as a family. So I just made a radical decision. The food that was left in the evening, if it was good, the food that I enjoyed, please pack it for me or cook some new food in the morning, put it in my bag, and go. I rarely leave my office to go and look for food. And that saves a lot of money. But you'll find somebody who is struggling, but never misses lunch, going to restaurants to look like other people, you know. So make those kind of decisions. Education. You don't have to take your kids to an academy if you can't afford it. They can go into public school for a short period of time, and then when you recover and you have enough buffer, take them back to an academy. You know, give yourself a break. Give yourself a break so that your expenses, they slow down and your revenues or incomes, they catch up and exceed. Then you can be able to pace yourself. You should never have, your expenses should never be more than 80% of your family income. They should never be. So if anybody is in a rat race and they are saying, I have nothing to save, they need to remember my story. You are headed for a head-on collision. And if you don't do something today about it, it is certainly going to happen. And it will have many casualties. And there might never be a recovery. Even a marriage might be lost. So make the decisions now. Difficult decisions. If you are a man, you have to be bold. Your wife will respect you for taking difficult decisions and say, I did not like the decision you made, but it was the right decision for our family. Yeah? And when you recover, you will be the hero in that family. But if you stay there and hide your head under the sand,
ostrich mode,
then your family is headed for a crash. And it is certainly going to happen. But the good thing is, you're in control of it. And you can change the course of your family.
Let's talk about this thing that you coined. I'm not sure if it's you coined it, but I heard it from you and I adopted it from you and I believe it from you.
Yes.
It's called, and it's part of this whole getting yourself out of the rat race.
Yes.
Pay yourself first.
Yep.